Hi, my name's Willow with Mystic Life Design and Dancing Willow Tree Mystery School. And I'm here with my video goddess, Allie, and we're going to talk about the One of Cups from the Tarot of Transformation today.
So the beginning paragraph in the One of Cups begins with, "Wands can represent a sense of wholeness and perfection, and the One of Cups represents this on the emotional plane. We use this card to reflect the state of consciousness related to being in utero. It represents the merged state in which our needs are automatically met and we are completely nurtured."
Sounds nice.
It does sound nice, doesn't it? So I'm wondering, Willow, if you can say more about sort of the in utero or the oneness, sort of, what it is and, also maybe how it relates to the water, ocean, sort of those pieces.
Yeah, so we all know that in the womb, when we're there as little infants, we're in a watery environment. And that has been correlated with the ocean or a lake or a pond in cultures around the world in their mythologies. So the ocean has been considered the mother, the sky, and the womb, the sloshy, watery womb.
Great. And so I'm wondering, you bring up mother, or ocean, and I'm wondering if you can say more sort of about the womb of the mother and those pieces as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to share a little thing with you. Down in the ocean in the southern hemisphere, right around the full moon, right around the summer solstice, all the little creatures in the coral reefs, every single one of them within a 5-day period, release all of their sperms and eggs, and like thousands of little cells release and unite and form this big frothy foam that then is washed away to faraway other islands and seeds them, and life begins in the ocean there. So that's just a really beautiful example of how the ocean metaphorically is the mother of life on this planet, but physically is the mother of life on this planet too. So the mother is an archetype, and an archetype represents a mother. And of course, we've all had one, so every culture on the planet has a mother archetype, because guess what? We've all had a mother. There's different symbols representing this. Like in land-based cultures, it's often the cow that represents the mother energy. But for ocean-based cultures, it's the whale or the sea serpent, or sometimes the turtle, or mythologically speaking, it's the mermaid that represents this mother being in the great ocean.
Great. And so I think it sounds really great if we all had great mothers. We all do our best. And I'm just wondering if you can say more about, mothering if there's sort of a toxic womb.
Yeah.
I think, you've said something in the book about toxic womb and if people have experienced that.
Yeah. So toxic womb is actually a psychological term, and it represents you being in the womb with a mother that, for good reasons of her own, we're sure, doesn't love you, doesn't send good vibes to you, might smoke cigarettes, might use drugs, too much alcohol. So we as a sensitive little being in the womb actually feel that. We feel the toxic nature of it, and like if our mother didn't want us, we feel that too. So that can lead to a life strategy, one of the 10 or so major life strategies. That this strategy is called the sensitive withdrawn. So way back in the womb, we come to the conclusion, and of course it's not verbal at that point, but it's a felt sense that the world isn't safe, not really wanted, and we're sensitive, highly sensitive. Like I feel my mom going, and I feel those chemicals, and so a person can develop a whole life strategy of being sensitive and withdrawn. That's called where it's hard to engage in the world and they want to withdraw.
Right.
As a result of a toxic womb.
Wow. Thanks for expanding on that more. So I'm going to read the second part of the first paragraph in the book. And it says, although development requires that we emerge from this non-dual consciousness and learn to take care of ourselves, we can periodically dissolve back into the state of primordial union. It is a state of rest and satisfaction, an oceanic state graphically represented here by the confluence of womb and ocean. So I'm wondering, just with the information you've given about utero and mother and toxic womb and oneness, all of those pieces, how do we, sort of use that information if we've experienced toxic womb or just trying to heal ourselves? How do we sort of use this information to start that healing process? What does that look like?
Good question. So if we've had a major toxic womb or we're just kind of a little overwhelmed by the intensity of life, we can always kind of go back to the mother, so to speak. Go back to the mother. And there's many ways to do that. I'll talk about that more in the next video. But basically it's going within. Like one thing you could do that helps is take a long, slow bath. That helps. But another thing you can do is get a horizontal movement going in your body.
So you mentioned a little bit about mother, ocean, kind of explained those pieces. And I'm wondering, since you have a Seasons of the Goddess book, is there any particular goddess archetype that goes with the book? Is it around mothering or maybe something completely different?
Good question. So yes, there's lots of goddesses, but the one I'd like to share with you today is Shakti. And Shakti is the name of a Hindu goddess. And she's the divine feminine energy of the universe. So first of all, she's seen in the great dome of the sky, which is dark blue. And that was seen initially as the cosmic ocean. The great dome of the sky was the cosmic ocean, and the stars in the sky were souls floating in the womb of the cosmic ocean. So that's where we first find Shakti. And then we see her in the ocean. She's also the energy of the ocean. So there's a myth of Shiva, her consort, who lives up in northern India, up in the top of the mountain doing his austere meditations, and he travels all the way down to southern India, representing going down into the body, into the more feminine aspects of life, and he pulls Shakti out of the ocean in the form of a serpent. And then as he carries her up north, she slowly turns into the form of a woman. So I mentioned the serpent here. So that's one of these primal goddess symbols. So we find the serpent spiraled like in the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes they call that at the navel of the world. Deep in the bottom of the ocean, this life force energy spiraled up, coiled up in the form of a serpent. And then it uncoils and becomes this undulating flow like in a river, or like the Kundalini energy flowing up her spine.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for explaining that. So I'm wondering, Willow, can you explain more about, Kundalini and the serpent element?
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to say that the serpent, which you see all through goddess lore, actually doesn't represent a snake. So I know many of us have a little bit of towards snakes. So rest assured, it's a symbol of energy. It's a symbol of the flow of energy. So we're talking about the life force energy that's in the womb that gestates us and grows us, and it's in the ocean, and then it uncoils in the form of like this wavy line that people said, well, that looks quite a bit like a snake, so we'll use a snake to symbolize that. So really they're talking about energy, not a snake. So this life force energy rises up from our womb and down into the earth and our root chakra, rises up our spine in the form of Kundalini energy. So in terms of healing, just kind of going back to the mother, there's many different ways of doing that. Taking a bath is one of them. But another one is just to tune into this kind of lateral, undulating energy. When I take a nap, which is a lot, or when I'm going to bed at night, I often just lay down and I just start visualizing this left to right energy. And it's amazing how soothing to the nervous system is. You know how we all rock babies so they can go to sleep? Their nervous system is so sensitive, and it's like being back in the ocean womb when they're rocked. And guess what? We can do that as grown-ups too. It's never too late to get a good rockin'.
Wow, that sounds pleasant. I wish we could just do that while we're in conversation.
Yeah. Try it. You'll like it.
The rest of the video, I'll just do this.
Yeah. I actually do this a lot. I love it. And then you can do it this way too. But I'll explain that more in the next video about some specific practices, several specific practices you can do to work with the womb and the first and second chakras. And this deep, feminine, watery energy. Work with that for more healing.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I'm really grateful that you're offering that to all of us. And yeah, I just want to thank you and say I'm looking forward to using the information to just work with that in my life. Work with the movement and the coming back to the oneness and remembering to come back to the mother for that support and that nourishment. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Have a good day. Hi there. I hope you've enjoyed this video about the Tarot of Transformation. The deck can be found on my website at mysticlifedesign.com. You might also enjoy some of my other books. Seasons of the Goddess, The Cycle Around the Tree of Life, Journey Through the Chakras, a color and contemplation book, and The Path Through Emotional Pain. In my healing work, I offer psychic chakra energy readings, archetypal energy psychotherapy, and trauma resolution work. You can find out more about these things at www.mysticlifedesign.com. Thank you so much.